Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel Merle on Time. My name is Chris Merles, and on my channel I unbox and review budget watches. And if you haven't done so yet already, please consider hitting subscribe. Thank you to those who have already subscribed to my channel. As of the filming of this video, I'm up to 251 subscribers, and I just can't believe that. And I'm thankful for those that also comment on each of the videos as well. I know for a fact who my first couple of commenters on this video are going to be. And guys, I appreciate you doing so very much. It has made this whole journey of doing videos and reviewing watches just so enriching for me, and I've been learning a lot from the feedback that you give. And so thank you so much for doing that. Again, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already, if this is the kind of content that you enjoy watching. Today I'm going to be unboxing a watch that I received from Watchgang. I am a member of their quarterly Black Tier subscription program. Actually, all because of this guy, and this is the channel shout out for this week, Reboot a Dude. I watched him unbox a Seiko Prospect Turtle for his Black Tier watch, which I think, Reboot, comment and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was his second Black Tier watch that he received, maybe his third. And I thought, oh, you Reboot, you glorious bastard, you. So I am going to see what I can get. I'm going to join it again. I've received 5 watches from their Black Tier quarterly subscription, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Mirage, the Cortebert Mirage chronograph watch. And the question always with these watches is, are they worth the $100 that you spend in order to get the watch? Is this one, this Cortebert Mirage, worth $100? Well, stay tuned. So I thought I'd start the video with the wrist shot, and here it is on wrist, the Cortebert. This is the Mirage. And I guess I should push in the crown and get the thing going. There we go. And I think this is really a beautiful watch. Now, before we get up close and personal, I want to show you something here. This is Giuseppe. Giuseppe from Florida. And he was the winner of my 150 subscriber watch giveaway. He got the 3 Leagues watch, and he got the Timex Expedition Scout. That were both my watches. I got the 3 Leagues watch off of the Wheel of Watches on Watchgang, and the Timex Expedition was my personal watch that I bought. And so there is Giuseppe, and a huge congratulations to Giuseppe for winning the 150 subscriber giveaway. Back to this watch, the Cortebert. This is the Cortebert Mirage. So let's get up close and personal with this watch. Then we'll go over the specifications, and then I'll share with you what my impressions are, my likes, my dislikes of the watch, and of course answer that question, is it worth $100? So let's get up close and personal with this one now. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the montage there, up close and personal with this watch. And let's deal with the specifications of this watch now. And I do want to take you to the website. Good news is that I got a caliper tool that I can do all the measurements in future videos once I get that in. But for now, let's check the website out, and let's also address this question of, is this watch worth $100? Personally, I think that this watch is worth $100, but here is where Watchgang tries to get you. On the website, you can see that we have a Mirage CB3006-22. That's the model, and you can see they're listing it at $430. There is no way that I would, nor would I recommend anyone, pay $430 for this watch. I do think it's worth $100, but here's where Watchgang kind of gets you with these MRSPs, the manufacturer's suggested retail price, MSRP rather, of $430 for this watch. It just isn't worth $430. Watchgang certainly didn't pay more than $100 to get this watch to send it to you for $100. So I think I'd pay $100 for this watch. Wouldn't pay $430. You know, you just got to understand that's kind of how Watchgang operates. They make you think you're getting something more valuable than what you're paying for, when in reality you're getting a $100 watch for $100, in my opinion. The movement is a Japan quartz chronograph, as you can see. My guess is it's the VD57 movement from other watches that I own. I think it's probably the same movement. Stainless steel case and bracelet. 44 millimeters is the case size. 12.5 millimeters is the case thickness. It has a sapphire coated mineral glass covering the dial, and it has a 22 millimeter wide strap at the lugs, and it comes in with 100 meters of water resistance. And so honestly, I think I would pay $100 for this watch any day. I think it's a great watch for $100, to be honest with you. It's not worth $430, so you don't join Watchgang to get a watch that's worth more than what you pay. That's not why you join Watchgang. So I think it's worth $100. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to just go over what I like about this watch and what I dislike about this watch, as I've worn it for a few days and have got acquainted with it. First thing I like about this watch is this bracelet. This style of bracelet, I don't know if it's called engineered style, I'm not sure, but I really do love this style of bracelet. It fits super comfortably. You can see it has some nice brushing on the outer links as well as on the middle link. And then for a little bit of flare, for a little bit of shimmer, those other links in between are nicely polished. And as you saw on the montage in the outdoor shots, it really gives a nice glitter in the light. And I kind of like that. I know some people like all brushed. I do like a bit of polish on mine. I really do like a bit of a shimmer shine, if you will. The bracelet also integrates into the case perfectly. No issues there. Pretty sure it just has hollow end links, but it does have a really nice milled clasp, which everyone seems to like. Does not have too much in the way of micro adjust. The clasp isn't very big, but it does have a nice bit of Cortebert branding on the clasp as well. And this is just a super comfortable wear, so I'm really liking the bracelet. My favorite part of this watch, though, is the dial. I really think it's the star of the show. It just is beautiful. Has a fume effect on the blue part of the dial. I'll see if I can zoom in just a hair so you can see it. It's just got this texture to it. There you go. And I really love the texture that it gives. I love the fact that these complications on the watch are set down a little bit from the rest of the dial. I just really think everything on this dial pops. It is a real pleasure to look at. It's definitely the star of the watch in my opinion. The chronograph complications on this watch are very legible as well, which when you have a chronograph watch you definitely want. So I'll start the chronograph by pushing the top pusher here, and you can see at the 6 o'clock the seconds complication is running, and this chronograph has now run for about 15 minutes, and I have it set for that for a reason, to talk about the actual movement in this watch in just a moment, as a part of some of the things that I don't like about the watch. But I love the fact that this chronograph, both the seconds complication at the 6 and the 60-minute complication at the 9 o'clock, are really legible. All of the minute markers are printed around them. just did a great job on making the chronograph legible and useful, actually useful to use, because some chronographs that I have, you just can't really read them, either because the indices aren't printed around, or they're small, or just the way that they're contrasted against the dial of the watch just makes them not very legible. But this one does an amazing job with that, and so that is what I really like about this watch. I also like the branding on the back, the case back. It's quite nice, all laser etched into there. The Cortebert. It really is a nice watch. But there are some things that I'm not a huge fan of, and the first thing that I'm not a fan of is the actual chronograph movement that is in here. I have a couple of watches that have the Seiko VK63 Mecha Quartz movement in them. My favorite chronograph is my Seiko SSB 031 chronograph. It has the VK63 movement in it, and they're just better movements. The chronograph, when you reset it, snaps back to the 0. Everything resets by a click of a button. And you can see as this chronograph is running, what will take place when you stop the chronograph. You have the tenths of a second at the 12 o'clock, but when you reset it, you'll see it just takes a while to reset. It's going to now spin backwards, roll back to the 60-second and the 60-minute complication there, and it just takes a while. I just wish it had the Mecha Quartz movement, so you wouldn't have to be waiting forever in order for the chronograph to reset. Certainly would have been better with that movement. I also think that what they should have done, notice that the 24-hour complication, it's got that nice bright yellow hand. I wish they had have used the same color on all of the complications. Would have just made the watch pop out a little bit. It does have a bit of yellow on the bezel under London with that yellow triangle, and I think having yellow hands on the rest of the watch would have made it a heck of a lot better for sure. And personally, on watches that I have, I am not a fan of these 24-hour complications. Most of the time they're kind of difficult to read. It's utilizing, wanting, reading in military time if you want to do that. And personally, I would have liked if they had just ditched this altogether and put a nice date window at the 3 o'clock. That would have been far better than basically having a glorified AM or PM indicator on the watch. Although this 24-hour complication, having said that, is quite legible as well. But it's just not something that I really use. One of the things that I also like is this bezel. We're going back to a like. It does have a world time bezel function on it. And you can see the Rehaut has the 24-hour indicator on there. And so in order to use this world time bezel to tell what time it is in different time zones, it is bidirectional. It's not clicking, so it just has some tension on it to turn it. But you got to use the 24-hour complication and set that to your time zone. I'm the New York time zone, and so you can see I'll put New York to the top. And that dot above the New York is what you set it to. So we're at, on this watch, 10 a.m., let's say New York time. And so if I move New York to the 10 a.m. on the Rehaut, so we'll just slide that over to 10 a.m. and we'll put New York, the dot for New York, right at the 10. And there it is. And so now I will be able to tell what hour it is in the rest of the cities in the world. And so we're 10 a.m. in Eastern time zone. In London, England, it is now 1500 hours or 3 p.m. So they're 5 hours ahead of us. And you can now go around the bezel and you can tell what time it is in all of those other major cities in the world. So that is a really neat feature as well. So overall, is this worth $100? I think it is. Some nice brushed finish on the case there. On the other side, it's brushed as well, except for the pushers, which are polished, and it's got a nice polished crown with the Cortebert logo on it. Let's go back to another dislike. Got some notes here. The crown itself, it pulls out, but it seems like it doesn't pull out quite near far enough. Like it barely pulls out in order to stop the time. There really isn't a very distinct clicking or anything like that. It is just a push-pull crown. But the crown itself, like that's the crown pulled out. you can barely tell it's pulled out. When you push it back in, there really isn't much of a distinction between the crown being out and the crown being in. Which, if you're swimming with this thing, it does have 100 meters of water resistance. You can't tell whether that crown is in or out unless you're really paying attention and looking down at your watch and seeing it ticking and everything else like that. But it could be something where you get in the water and ruin the watch because the crown somehow got pulled out and you just didn't realize it. So that's a bit of a bummer with it. The lume on this it's okay. I'll show you the lume shot now. I wouldn't say it's awesome, but it's certainly okay. So the lume on this watch is pretty good. We'll charge it up. The hour and the minute hand really lasts for quite a while. The other numbers and indices around the numbers don't last quite as long. There it is. And so yeah, you can see all of the numbers are lumed, and then where there aren't numbers, the batons that are there are lumed as well. They will fade by 20 minutes. They pretty much fade right out. The seconds hand is also lumed a little bit. You can see that. The hour and the minute hand really do have a good amount of lume applied on them, and you can read the hour and minute hand anyways quite legibly past 20 minutes. However, with all of the numbers and other indices disappearing after that 20-minute mark, it can be a little tricky to read it, but the lume is not bad. Let's just call it not bad. So there it is. That is the Cortebert Mirage chronograph. There are some really nice things about this watch that I really like, and there are some things that I wish were done better, but overall I think that it's worth the $100 that you spend to get it from Watchgang. Let me know what you guys think. Would you spend $100 on this watch? Once again, thanks for checking out the channel, and as always, when you leave your house, make sure that you have a great looking piece to wear on your wrist, like this Cortebert Mirage. I am digging this one. And make sure that wherever you're going, you get there on time. God bless you. Thanks again for checking the channel out, and we'll see you in the next one.